Hi everyone, it's me Darlene with the Jets. That means you know where I am. Skylar's in therapy and the Memphis airport is like right next door. I would actually like to live right here just for the sound of the Jets. When I lived in Texas, I know I usually say Houston, but I actually for a while lived in Humble, Texas. And we were right by the airport, and I would just sit outside at night and just watch the jets take off and land, and it was so cool. The sound, I just loved it. So I decided to bring Skylar. I think I'm just going to bring her to her therapy every week unless something prevents me from doing that, because it gives me a chance to get out and to chat with her on the ride here and to do a car vlog, as long as you'll put up with me. Lately, that's all hang on. I may actually have to shut the windows and put the AC on because it's toasty. Why don't I do that? That'll help with the sound of the jets, but and I need the air. I would actually go swimming today. It's only 79 degrees, but it's warm enough for me. Yes, back to videos. Right now, these are the type of videos I'm in the mood to make, so this is what I'm making. I do want to get back to, I don't know, I should just stop talking about what I would like to do and just do what I feel like doing, right? Why? Why do I make life so difficult? Let's see, what did we do for Halloween? I went and spent the evening at Derek's. I brought chocolate bars in case we had kids. I didn't want to just be at my apartment alone, and you know, in case kids came, I just didn't want to be alone handing out candy. So I thought I'll go to Derek's. Skylar was out with friends at a Halloween party, and then they did go trick-or-treating, and I went to Derek's around 6. Not one child showed up at the door. I didn't see any walking around the complex. I thought at least kids, you know, that lived in the complex would, you know, go around. But they did not. And we watched, I was expecting Derek to watch football, but he's like, let's watch Bill Burr. We like to watch comedy together. And yeah, if you know him, you know, he can be a little bit off the wall, a little bit filthy, all the things that I love. And when I watch comedians and I see how freely they just say whatever they want to say, it makes me want to be able to do that. So I've kind of thought about it. If I ever retire from the fabric and from this channel, I'm going to start a channel and just be me and say whatever I want to say. I can't imagine anything I would love more. I know if I did that fully, me, on this channel, I would lose so many subscribers. So I can't do that. So, you know, it makes me sad that we can't just do what we want to do. But yeah, I would lose subscribers really quick. But I would gain some who would absolutely love that, you know? Oh, did I say I'm at the library? I only came here because it's the one place I knew I'd have shade. I didn't feel like being at Skylar's office parking lot. There was just no place to park. So I came here at the library. I'm not going into the library. All right, so I watched Bill Burr with Derek. It is Bill Burr, right? Not Barr, it's Burr. And I really like him. I like a lot. I still love Louis C.K. I know he did naughty stuff, but I love his humor. And I love, oh God, Jim Jeffries. Is that his name? I love him. And of course I love a lot of the older ones. Like I loved Carlin, George Carlin. And I'll watch just about any comedian. I stayed at Derek's until, I think it was 9 o'clock. He kept saying I had to bring the candy bars back with me, and I said that's okay, I'll just have them, and when I come visit or, you know, take a little walk, I'll come and throw you a candy bar. They're just the you know, about that size ones. And he says I just can't have those because I'll eat them all. And I said that's fine. And then when I was getting ready to leave, he goes, I've decided those have to stay. I said, all right. So he'll just eat them as he needs to, and then it'll be over. And then I told him, I said, I won't give you any more candy now. I said, we'll skip Christmas. We'll wait till Easter. And he's like, no, we'll skip Thanksgiving and we'll do candy for Christmas. I said, okay, we can do that. So he just doesn't want it. And I ask him, I don't want him to have anything that he doesn't want me to bring. And I did tell him I bought some candy bars for the kids, and I had said to him, you don't have to have that. I'll bring it back with me. But he decided he wanted it. So that was Halloween. I guess Skylar had a good time. She came home with a bunch of candy, but she's 14. She was just really out because she wanted to go to the Halloween party. She actually had two. I think there was one Sunday and then another friend on Monday. So I'm glad she got to do stuff that she liked. And then Tuesday, which was yesterday, this is a Wednesday, I ended my binge watch of Downton Abbey. I watched some of Downton Abbey when it first came out, and I really liked it, but I think it might have been just part of the first season, and then I just didn't stay with it. And it was on PBS at the time, if I remember right. I always liked it, and my brother was saying how much he loved it, and that made me look for it, and I had it on the Roku channel. So I've been binge watching during my lunch break in the afternoon, and that was it. So it took me almost 5 months to watch it. And it's such a part of my everyday that I was so sad when it was over. I mean, I just dragged that last episode out because I didn't want to sit down for lunch without them. I took it hard. I no longer had that. It was good. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I was able to stick with it the whole time, but I would watch, 20 minutes a day, including the ridiculously long commercials I had to watch while I was watching that. And now I'm going to try something else. Derek and Skylar love Stranger Things. They have watched that multiple times, but I knew it wouldn't be up my alley. I did try it today, and no, it's too sci-fi for me. I would love to watch it with them because I can watch anything that someone else is enjoying because I enjoy that they're enjoying it. But to watch it alone, not my cup of tea. So I haven't watched David Letterman's My Next Guest Needs No Introduction, I think is the name of that series. I think it's season 4. It's just he talks to people, and when this new season came out, one of the guests was Billie Eilish. Skylar loves Billie Eilish, so I had watched that one, but then I didn't bother with the others. So I'm going to watch that whole season, and that'll get me through maybe a month, and then I'll find something else. My AC makes a funny noise. I don't know if it's a belt. Is there such a thing as a belt on the AC? And I worry about having to shop for a car. I mean, this car runs great, but I even worry about things like just having the oil changed or the tires changed. I know no one around here. I know Derek goes to wherever he bought his car. He goes there to have it serviced, and I just hate making appointments and going to them and not knowing. I had the same mechanic forever. I had my first car by the time I was 19, I think. I was 19, I think, when I bought my car. And I used to go to the place that my father went, and the mechanic that I had all these years, he started there as a very young, like a teenager, and he ended up with the business as he got older, and that's who I've had my whole life, the same mechanic. I hated leaving Maine just because I was going to lose my mechanic, and I just liked him, and he was nice, and I could trust him, and I don't have that now, and I just don't like things like going to have the oil changed, and I could beg Derek to do that for me. Say, I'll make an appointment. You can go get that done for me. Pretty please. I just have to do it because I want to take care of this car. Knock on wood. Is there any wood anywhere? This has been the best car I've ever owned. I've had zero trouble with it, and I bought it used. I paid cash, so it's just, I got a good price. I mean, it's just really nice to have a good car. It's a Nissan Sentra. That's all I can tell you, and I don't know anything else. It's red. Sitting outside of the library reminded me that at my Hernando library, I went to a craft class last night. They have one the third Thursday of every month in the morning. I go to that. Then they started one the first Tuesday of every month in the evening. And they've only had it twice, and I went to both of them. And the crowd is different. And by crowd, I mean 1, 2, 3, 4 people besides me. The evening group is not the same as the group that goes in the morning. The morning group is very fun. I'm very comfortable. There's enough talking, and I don't have to be part of that. But yet I'm entertained by hearing what people are saying. But the evening one does like no talking. And I was very uncomfortable. A woman came in and sat next to me, and I tried like 3 times to say something. She did not even acknowledge the fact that I existed. She just didn't. And we're sitting literally in chairs next to each other. And I thought, okay, that's just the way she is. She just doesn't want to talk. Maybe she's filled with anxiety. I don't know. But I did attempt, and I didn't take it personally, and I just knew I can't talk to her. I can talk to the one who runs these classes. She's very nice and friendly, so if I wanted to say anything or ask questions, I just talked to her. The others weren't talkative either, but I enjoyed the craft. I didn't think I would. We made shrinky dinks. And I do think I might have done that once in my life. I seem to remember doing something like that, and it was a fail. I'm not sure. I usually have a better memory of things because I know I would have loved to have shrinky dinks. I remember the commercials for that, but I wasn't really able to get the cool gifts. I don't know. It's too expensive or whatever. But doesn't matter. I've done them now, and what we did is we had the plastic sheet, and we could just draw what we wanted, or we could put that on top of stuff she printed out. So I did that, and then I traced with a black marker. Loved that. A black marker on the frosty side of this plastic thing. I was so happy to do that. And I did 2 flowers and a butterfly. I wish I would have brought my shrinky dinks with me, but I didn't think of that. Outlined those, I colored those, I cut them out, and she put them in the toaster oven, and they shrank, and they're just adorable. I was so happy, except I missed 2 spots on the wings of the butterfly that I didn't color, so I was able to color it after it shrunk. And it was interesting for me to see that. So I thought, geez, I would love to do some of my own doodles on this and then shrink my doodles. Huh? How cool. So then we were talking about the Thursday class that's coming up in like 2 weeks. And she said, we're going to just do easy that day. We're just going to be doing Zentangles, which I still call it a doodle. I said, are you serious? So I can't believe that I'm going to go there for an hour and just doodle. I haven't done that in a long time. And I think I'm going to bring my doodles because it's the morning class and it's the fun group. And I think they would like to see some of my doodles. I still have some on my old channel that I want to recycle and bring to this channel. And I haven't done that for maybe a couple of years. So I'm going to look and see where I left off, and maybe I can recycle one of my old doodle videos and bring it over. And then maybe if I can never stop chewing around my fingers, I can doodle again. I had pictures of my hands in those old doodles that, I mean, some of them I had nice polished nails and, you know, so I don't know. I just got to get back to that. It's just a very nervous habit, and I'm doing it constantly, and I've got to stop. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch my other car vlog where I'm sitting in my car. So many of those. All right, let me take a break, think of what else I can tell you. Almost every single jet that flies by, well, everyone that I've looked up at is FedEx. They just take off like every minute, it seems like. I think I'm going to hang up for a minute and go back to the office, so I'll be there when Skylar gets out. Here's something of no interest to you at all, but I just thought it was odd. When I get paid for my YouTube videos, that payment comes from Google because we use our AdSense, Google AdSense accounts, and we connect that to YouTube. So my money comes from Google. And every year I get a 1099 from Google, and I always noticed that the address was Airways. It just, I don't know, stuck with me. Things like that happen with me. I can read something and it will just replay in my head forever, for whatever reason. That's one of the things that stuck with me. And when I drive from Hernando to South Haven, I almost always take a road called Airways. And it never dawned on me that that would be the same Airways where Google is, because I couldn't imagine why Google would be here. But today when I went by, I did see a big sign with Google and a big parking lot full of cars, and I just looked, and yeah, that's Google. That's where my 1099 comes from. It is, what did they call it? A home office? Scared because a car wanted to park next to me. Corporate office, Airways Boulevard, South Haven, Mississippi. So if you want to Google on Google, you can look that up. Told you it wasn't going to be interesting to you, but it makes me feel like if I ever wanted a job at Google, I could go apply. What else is there? Is there anything? Let me think. Did I even mention that I'm back at the office, just waiting for Skylar? She should be out in about 10 minutes, less than that. I was thinking again about my career as a comedian. You know, I think most of those guys and women who do it too, I think every one of them must have suffered some kind of childhood trauma, because I think that's what comes out when you're grown up. I don't know if you can hear that very irritating air conditioning sound that I hear, but it's driving me nuts. It's like a little bug making noise. I'm gonna have to turn it off, I guess. Car off. Just have to suffer in the heat. And I think that's why I put humor into a lot of the things that I say or do. For me, it has always been a way to get through the bullshit. And I know some people probably wouldn't do it that way. It's the way I do it, and I think, you know, it's the way that comedians do it. I have started watching someone new, not new, I'm sure she's been on YouTube for a while, new to me. And the channel name is Crappy, I think it's Crappy Childhood Fairy, something like that. She is so spot on about everything. It's like she's talking about my life. That car was rolling and I didn't know anybody was still in the car, so I thought it was going to go down that hill. So I find her very interesting, and I'll put her on at night and just put my iPad on my bedside table, my dresser next to my bed, and I'll just listen to her and let myself fall asleep to her talking about all these things. And she, you know, she just touches on things and how how to deal with these things as an adult, you know, but it's specifically based on your childhood. And it's not just narcissistic parents or things like that. It's just all kinds of childhood things. So if you're interested in her at all, I'll link to her channel in my description. But it reminds me of how things come out, because she will talk about how our personalities, we adapt in a way to survive the trauma in different ways. And, you know, and one of them is absolutely humor. And so that is why I want to have a channel one day where I can just get all the bullshit out and not care at all. It would feel so incredibly freeing to me, but I know I would jeopardize everything that I have going for me right now, and I can't jeopardize that yet. So one of these days, I'm going to have that freedom. Now, that gives me something to look forward to, that if I want to retire, I can just switch gears and do that, and I think it would just be so fun. I know I had my growing up crazy channel, but that still was very specific, you know, to me and what I went through. I would just like a channel where I can just let loose and, you know, talk about so many of the things that I've learned. Obviously trauma, childhood trauma, that would be one of the things. Growing up, you know, as a child in the 60s and 70s, that's just, you know, that has its own thing. And religion, I have a lot to say about that. And, you know, I just would, relationships, everything. I want to be able to let loose. And I can't. I feel quite stifled at times. So instead, you're going to hear me talk about the fact that Google is down the road. Okay, that's what you're going to get. And that I parked in a shady spot, and that cars scare me, like this guy's opening his door. And he made a noise like I thought he hit my car, but he didn't. Remember, I was cutting squares out of jeans. I'm so leaned into you lately. I think that's a sign that I need you guys, because I'm like leaning into you. I think it is a sign that someone is comfortable or whatever. I don't know, but I've just been leaning into you lately. I'm lonely. So I was cutting squares out of jeans. Do you remember that? I take jeans and I cut the pant legs, and then I cut squares, and then I put them on eBay. And I enjoy doing that. However, I haven't had the time to do that. So today, you know what I did? I just cut the pant legs, and I put that on eBay, so people can cut the size squares that they want, or use the denim fabric for other things. So you can go check that out. Bidding starts at a penny, free shipping, USA only. But I really still want to cut squares. I just haven't had time. I think I have 2 or 3 more pairs of jeans that I bought at a thrift store for cutting, and 1 men's shirt. So I want to do that. But I thought maybe somebody would like just the pant legs, so they can use the fabric. And what's cool is it doesn't cost me as much to ship, because it's not as heavy as a full-on pair of jeans. I've also been keeping the pockets from the jeans, and even the crumbs. When I get a nice pile of crumbs, I'm going to put that on eBay as a penny auction. Some people might like that for quilts or for tote bags or whatever. I think that that would be cool. I would absolutely love to do some crumb quilting with denim, and maybe mix that with flannel. So that would be pretty cool. I really would love to get back to just sewing for my own pleasure. No cameras, nothing. Just for me to do crumb quilting, and I just don't take the time. I have to get back to that, and I just love it so much. So maybe if I do some with denim, that will be different for me, and I'll be excited, and I can make some quilt blocks or whatever, or just pieces of fabric, and people can use that for whatever projects they want. And so I'm anxious to see if I'll get bids on the pant legs. And yeah, I could do that every once in a while. because not everybody wants 2-inch squares or 4-inch squares, which is what I usually do. I think Skylar will be out any minute now, so I probably should just hang up. She's not out yet. And I'm gonna put the car back on because I'm hot, so I need that bug-sounding air conditioner to be running. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with more soon. Subscribe. Bye.